innit?
Are we?
Yeah, we're live.
We are. Oh wow, that was smooth. Morning, beautiful people. It is Thursday, the 2nd of February. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favourite news platform, the home of popular culture, as decided by you lot, the culture. And as always, we're brought by the we're here with the best, as always. Introduce yourself, please, guys.
They call me E-Man, the pro-black activist, TDA producer and news analyst, melanin jam-packed.
And I'm Big Moss from the east side of the bridge. You know my name already. I weren't here yesterday, but I weren't because I was out partying on that. I know you don't believe that.
Well, that's what the people are saying.
I woke up and I had a flat tire.
Oh, serious?
Mm-hmm.
The white man.
Enemy of progress.
Telling you.
Tire was flat. The rim was on the floor.
Serious?
I have to go to the petrol station, fly, fill it back up, get it to quick fix. Screwed.
Crazy.
But I didn't say, because I already knew that you kind of expected I weren't going to come in anyway after my night out. So it kind of didn't make a difference. So I was just like, you can't fight fate, man.
Okay.
And that was it. But we're here, ready for the world. You all right?
Yeah, man, can't complain, man. Can't complain. How are you?
I'm all right. Yeah, I'll survive. We be cool in. Esther's still not here.
Nah, man.
She's away recovering. Hope she gets well soon. Where's Big
right.
Man News?
MIA, man. Don't know, man.
He's looking.
Working very hard.
All right,
Behind
grinding.
the scenes.
And where's Gina? Sunning it up.
Yeah.
I ain't seen no stories yet, Gina. I ain't seen no. Where is it? LA? Is there a beach in LA?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's the bikinis and that, man? Fix up, Gina, man. She's a content queen. You know what I'm saying?
Still your colleague.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I'm saying I'm trying to promote her innovation thing.
Can I ask a question?
Go on.
Emmanuel and Max. Do you find it easier to follow instructions given to you by a white man?
What? No.
No. Why?
If there was a particular endeavor that you were undertaking
Yeah.
and you had to commit to certain things
Yeah.
in order to make this endeavor successful,
Yeah.
would it be easier for you to hear it coming from a white man than a black man?
No.
You treat it the same.
Yeah.
How about you, Emmanuel?
Yeah, the same, man. Maybe a bit less even.
All right, okay.
Why did you say that?
I'll correlate it after the broadcast. There's a reason why I asked that question.
Okay.
Well, I'll let you know why I asked the question afterwards.
Interesting. Maybe that's a pre-topic of the day.
Maybe.
People
Yeah,
in
I'm
the chat.
priming definitely. That's what it is.
It could just be woke or a joke.
This is true.
Well, let's get into our headlines.
Let's do it.
Right.
All right. So the first headline, again, another continuation of the situation that's going on with Dominic Raab, right? So Rishi Sunak is under growing pressure to explain what he knew about bullying allegations against Dominic Raab when he was appointed as the deputy PM. The Prime Minister's spokeswoman would only rule out him being aware of formal complaints when he gave his ally the job last year. The PM is facing calls to suspend Mr. Raab from his cabinet while the allegations are being investigated. Mr. Sunak clashed with the Labour leader, Sir Keir Starmer, over the issue at the PMQs. Sir Keir Starmer accused Mr. Sunak of being too weak to act and asked whether the PM was the only person completely unaware of the allegations. But the Prime Minister insisted he acted decisively and appointed a new senior lawyer, Adam Tolley KC, to investigate the allegations when he learned of formal complaints. Mr. Raab, who sat next to Mr. Sunak in Parliament, has denied all these bullying civil servants allegations. 8 formal complaints have been made against Mr. Raab, who was appointed Deputy Prime Minister and Justice Secretary last October. The bullying complaints relate to Mr. Raab's previous periods as Justice Secretary and Foreign Secretary under Boris Johnson and his time as Brexit Secretary under Theresa May. A bit of a side note, yeah. Did you hear that Liz Truss might be coming back?
In what role? In what capacity?
No, not as PM or anything, but to the
the
forefront.
cabinet?
Yeah,
Is it, yeah?
yeah. People are not happy, man.
They're not happy that she's coming back or they're happy that she's
Yeah.
gone?
No, that she's coming back.
But if she's good at something and you can make her as part of the team,
This is it.
but what they're saying, no, they just don't want her.
Yeah, because apparently she wants to come back and emphasize this whole growth for the economy, which is kind of in line with her thinking before. We sent everything into chaos, you know what I'm saying? So
Listen, you done mash it up last time, man. Go away.
there you go, man. So people don't want it there, man. But this next headline is again politics, and this is a bit of it's a weird one, yeah, because we've seen this week 2 separate occasions, yeah, people getting in trouble with anti-Semitic claims and issue with the Jews, right? And so Labour MP, basically, she gets her turn. So her name's Kim Johnson, and she's apologised for describing Israel's recently formed coalition government as fascist. So the Liverpool Riverside MP made a comment in Parliament as she asked Rishi Sunak about human rights violations against Palestinians. She apologised shortly after being ordered to do so by party bosses, yeah? The MP said that she acknowledged using the term fascist was particularly insensitive given Israel's history. She added that while there are far-right elements in the government, I recognise that the use of the term in this context was wrong. The BBC has been told that she was told to apologise by party whips for the remarks described as unacceptable by the Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer. Israel's new government, we spoke about this before, formed after the elections in November, includes senior ministers from the ultra-nationalist far right. There is domestic and international concern it will inflame the conflict with Palestinians, damage the judiciary, and restrict minority rights. The Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, who formed his party, which as a coalition basically with ultra-nationalists and ultra-Orthodox Jewish allies, has promised to pursue peace and safeguard civil rights. Ms. Johnson also apologised for saying during her intervention at the Prime Minister's questions that rights group Amnesty International had described Israel as an apartheid state. She said, whilst I was accurately quoting Amnesty's description, I recognise this is insensitive and I would like to withdraw it. In his initial response to Ms. Johnson's question, Mr. Sunak did not directly criticise her for the word fascist, but said that she had failed to mention the horrific attack on civilians inside Israel as well. He also added that it's important in this matter to remain calm and urge all sides to strive for peace, and that's very much what I will do as Prime Minister. What do you think about that? Do you feel like she's... Yeah, obviously she's being forced to do this, though. But do you think that's right, though?
What, right that they're forcing her?
Yeah, there's people within her own party. Obviously, if she's kind of stepped out against Labour's ethics and things of that nature, then fine. But both sides are agreeing on this, right? That she went too far describing Israel as a fascist state, I guess, at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I won't give my opinions on that, right? But many people would say it might be the case, at least to some degree, because he's formed a coalition with an ultra-nationalist and a, what's the other word they used? Okay, it's ultra-orthodox, but ultra-nationalist. Like, when you describe in the fascist states, a lot of the time, you will say that ultra-nationalist. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And also, when she was talking about quoting Amnesty International and describing Israel as an apartheid state, again, these are not her words. She was quoting it. Do you feel like it's necessary for them to have to go out of their way to say, no, go and apologise and withdraw those words?
Well, it's not fair. It's like I guess she has to, innit? These are the rules. These are the rules that's been set, and that everybody's playing by now. You get what I'm trying to say? So that's mad that you can get in trouble for saying something that's like you're saying that the quote.
She quoted it.
She quoted something, but again, it's all the same shit. We've seen it with other things where you can get prosecuted for somebody else's words, and you don't even have to say them. If that makes sense.
100%.
So,
all right, Ben, what do you think? You think it was too much?
I wasn't focusing on doing two things at once, to be honest.
Two things at once. Ben, you need to be on the ball, mate. All right, so our next headline, Kamala Harris, right? So she's come out. She went to basically the funeral of Tyre Nichols. You know, the man, trigger warning, who was killed by the 5 police officers.
okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, man. So Tyre Nichols' beating, as we know, shocked many in the US after being captured on camera and triggered yet another bout of soul-searching over racism and police brutality. The 5 officers involved have been charged with murder and other crimes, and all 5 officers are are black, as we spoke about recently. The Reverend Al Sharpton, who delivered the eulogy at Nichols' service, shared his anger that at least 5 black officers were involved in the brutal beating of Nichols, so close to the location of where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. In the city where Dr. King lost his life, not far away from that balcony, you beat a brother to death, said Sharpton. All he wanted to do was get home. That was the heartbreaking theme echoed by Nichols' mother, Rovaughn Wells, and other family members whose moving tributes to their lost relative were also edged by passionate demands for action and the passage of a stalled federal law aimed at reforming the police. The Vice President, Kamala Harris, gave brief remarks at the service condemning those who argue that law enforcement acts to support public safety in light of police brutality incidents. She also said that this violent act was not in the pursuit of public safety. Was Tyre Nichols not also entitled to the right to be safe? Tyre Nichols should have been safe. But yeah, man, that's the end of the headlines.
Well, let's get into our topic of the day. What are you saying?
All right, so today's topic of the day, I kind of want to read a headline first, yeah, and then base it around that. Brent, I want you to listen to this as well, yeah, because I want both of you to chime in. And this is, like, sometime last year, we kind of spoke about this particular headline where people were talking about discrimination within the army, the RAF, and things of that nature, yeah. And so they've come out to basically say they made a mistake about that. But let me read a bit of the headline. So the Air Chief Marshal, Sir Mike Wigston, has come under heavy fire from the Defence Select Committee over an unlawful order to favour women and ethnic minorities when selecting individuals for training courses. Right? The head of the Royal Air Force, RAF, admitted to mistakes and failings after it was claimed that the former head of recruitment had identified around 160 cases of discrimination against white men. The Air Chief Marshal, appearing before a committee of MPs on Wednesday for the first time since the scandal broke last year, which, like I said, we spoke about, said it had been wrong for stretching aspirational goals that he set to improve diversity in the RAF to end up as an unattainable recruitment target for his recruitment teams. He also said that put intolerable stress on them, and that was a failing of the organisation where an aspirational goal becomes an individual target, right? So basically, long story short, obviously, they've tried to, at least on paper, try and make certain concessions, I guess, to bring in more people, more women, I should say, and more ethnic minorities. Looking back at it now, they're saying the recruitment team struggled. They thought there was a lot of pressure on them to try and open the doors for other people, and basically it was a mistake. So the question is, yeah, firstly, do you think it was a mistake for them to even try that? Yeah, that's the first thing I'll say first.
What's this, just like one man's mission?
It might have been.
That wasn't like an initiative. That's just him taking. Was that just him that took it upon himself to do this?
I'm not too sure, but he's the chief, innit? So I guess like most things, it kind of starts somewhere innit, and it trickles down into the organization. So let's just say the organization was with it, but obviously you've now given the task to the recruitment agencies, recruitment team, I should say, to action this.
Yeah, I don't think they needed to do that.
Okay.
No one don't need to do that. I don't think it matters. They just want to diversify their portfolio.
Mm.
And maybe in other aspects of life, you want representation and diversity and all that, but I don't give a shit about the army. Just keep it with all the white people go there anyway. That don't make no difference to me. So
okay.
They don't need to diversify it. You get me? So, but I suppose in the name of what's the name? In the name of what? Like, just everything. Just for more equality or whatever. Just so there's more fairness, representation, that kind of thing. Obviously, he's obviously noticed a pattern, or they've noticed a pattern that women and people from ethnic minorities, the numbers are low in it. Mm-hmm. So they've just gone and just made an effort to just to raise them. I think that's not. It don't sound bad. Obviously, I don't think it could affect anybody, but I don't know about the plight of the white man. You get me? So
because like even if you want to look at it as black people, though, because obviously not everyone shares the same sentiment. Innit? Like some black people want to be part of the British, RAF and Air Force and the Army and this, that, and the third, right? And when they go in, when they make it now, because there's such a minority, there's discrimination
Discrimination against
and prejudice against them within the organisation. People have spoke about this before. If you now open the doors for more black people to come in, more women to come in, does that kind of not somewhat even the balance field somewhat?
no, because they're not putting them in positions of power. They need to promote black people into high positions.
Okay.
Rather than just the foot soldiers. What's that change? That don't change shit.
But if you've got like 5 people in the RAF, how do you justify taking 2 of those and putting them into senior positions? Don't you need more people to come in so it looks like, okay, cool. At least we're not kind of just, picking a token person. This person actually deserved it. There's enough black people in here for us to have a black person in the senior position.
I mean, if there was less black people there's more. Ain't I got more of a case to say they deserve it more? Like they actually went out their way to come and do this. Like they want it. Like if there was more of them, then it's just like anything. Like, the fact that there's less, but you're here and you made it this far and you're credible for this achievement. That means ain't you more deserving?
Why though? There's less of them though.
Because none of them didn't care enough, but you made the effort. to you know what I'm trying to say? Like none of them didn't care enough to forward over it, but you made the effort. Or am I looking at that wrong?
Well, kind of, yeah. Because let's just take it to, I don't know what Jamaica's demographic makeup is.
Yeah.
But let's just say it's majority black. You get one white man coming in because he wants to basically go and die for Jamaica. You will look to promote him to chief because he made the effort.
No, but if he was good though, he obviously got to be deserving.
So if the basis is on merit.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's without. I thought that would get without saying. No, I'm not just saying just put a black man into making the chief.
It's important to basically make sure that.
Well, these people. Sorry, because these people are in these positions for a reason. They wanted that. No one you don't just wake up and make it there.
Is it really? When it is that you were talking about diversifying the portfolio, maybe they're lowering the barriers of entry in order to get them in.
That's to get them in, but once you're considered for promotion to get to chief commander, this, that, to lieutenant, all this stuff, however it goes. When you work your way to get considered for that, you have to be doing something right. And I wasn't just saying just give it to someone as a token gesture. I didn't mean like that. Obviously, I'm saying
like it, to be honest.
Huh?
It sounded like it.
No, obviously, I'm saying the fact that they're black, give it to them. I'm saying ones that are deserved of it, innit? I wasn't just saying just pluck a random one. Maybe I should have
It's important
conveyed that.
He's asking these questions and he didn't stipulate, first of all, how clear you need to be. Maybe it's his fault.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
and
true.
they were blaming everybody else about everybody else.
Today's about accountability.
Yeah. So is that important to clarify, Emmanuel?
I don't think so.
All right. So it's just a given, yes? Merit.
No,
is
I
what
mean-
you're talking about.
Huh?
Merit. It's just a given that
you
being promoted on merit, yeah?
No, not promoted. No, but you're not talking about being promoted. You're talking about actually getting into the RAF, innit?
No.
Oh, so you're basically saying they're going to be promoted on merit. Oh, no, I didn't think you were saying that. I thought you were saying because they're black and there's black people in the organisation, then it makes sense to have one of them be a senior thingy, regardless of how great
That's
they
exactly
are.
how it sounded.
Yeah,
like
that's
I
what I
said.
thought you were saying.
Oh, no, I wasn't saying regardless of how good they are. I was saying, obviously, you pick the best of the crop. Because I'm just assuming that all of them there are...
Of a certain standard.
Yeah, because what would you be doing in the first place? Like, no one don't want to do that shit. So if you...
Playing politics, man. Playing politics.
You reckon?
That's what they're doing. Isn't this the basis of what the questions about, Emmanuel?
Yeah, because imagine now, if for example, because essentially, black people may
Want some
say...
coffee?
Coffee?
Yeah.
I'll never drink coffee.
Okay.
Essentially now, black people could say, oh, you know what, there's not enough positions for us in this particular organisation, yeah. And white people may say, for example, oh, well, you're not good enough necessarily to be in this. Obviously, otherwise you would be here. Surely there's some black people who fail, you know what I'm saying? But then what happens, what do you say to those people who then say, okay, well, we're trying to ring fence certain positions for black people, for women, ethnic minorities, things of that nature. But ordinarily, before this particular initiative, they wouldn't have made it in. You know what I'm saying? What do you say to that? Does it make sense that
Well, that they're letting people in that wouldn't have normally made it in.
Yeah.
Is that what they're doing though?
I mean,
that don't sound like what they're doing. It sounds like they're making. It sounds like they're making an effort to drive it towards women and minorities.
So how do
that doesn't sound like that doesn't sound to me like it doesn't sound to me like they're trying to get people with no interest of doing that stuff doing it. It's just focus more on that demographic, if that makes sense. I didn't take that as you are just going to find random women and minorities and trying to get them into the army.
Yeah, cool.
I feel like in their selection process, obviously, like white males are gonna outweigh it heavy in whatever's going on, but they're saying that in their efforts, seek out the ones, and give them the opportunities quicker. But I feel like they would still want to be there in the first place. I don't think they're trying to go and doing like recruitment drives and just grabbing random women in the street and trying to say, yeah, come join the army. Or is that what they are doing?
No, I think it's like what you're saying. You have to definitely meet you have to be of a certain capability to actually enter, right? But I think, like you're also saying, they may be making the recruitment more in the face of other people who ordinarily wouldn't even know how to get in. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, obviously I've never thought of joining RAF now, but I don't even know where to start. You know what I'm saying? Now imagine the time, obviously there's Google now, innit? But let's say years before when there's no Google, where do you start? You can't go job centre and ask to be in the RAF. You know what I'm saying? So I think maybe they're trying to put certain things in certain place to maybe bring people in. But at the same time, I don't think it's just that. Because if that was the case, why are white people complaining about being discriminated against? There must be something that's making these people say, this was a mistake. We shouldn't have done this. You know what I'm saying? It must be something.
What, more than just white people complaining?
I think so. I mean, no, because like for the chief to come out and say, that particular idea was a mistake, and for people to say, we were discriminating against white men.
They're saying they're getting backlash against the whole initiative.
Yeah.
So that's why they're saying it was a mistake. It's nothing because nothing happened. It's just because it's got a safe face. And did it work?
I don't think it worked. But then again, it's only started since last year, I believe.
Were they turning white men away?
Huh?
Were they turning white men away?
But this is what they're trying to give the impression of. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so they didn't give further detail?
No, they didn't give as much detail as that. But they are saying...
I don't know if it is that the army is looking to say no to people who wanted to come.
That's true. Numbers are dwindling. I don't think they're in a position to be turning anyone away. But why? So what's the gripe then?
I think people are just okay. Let me get to it again.
Is it just that? Is it that there's more minorities and women coming in and less white men?
Maybe. I think that might be the case in terms of percentage wise, especially compared to before. Because what they're saying is that whatever's been implemented is purposefully favoring women and ethnic minorities. They obviously came back and then insisted, right, that there hadn't been any active discrimination against white men. This is what they've said. But it's like, where are these complaints coming from? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If nothing like that happened, I mean, obviously we know people lie in it, but I don't know.
Yeah, unless I see more information, I hear more information regarding that. Like I might even think like they didn't like the fact that there was too much color and it wasn't, the conversations didn't slap the same anymore. They were complaining. Unless it's I actually see or hear you tell me that there's more information, that's what I'm going with.
Okay.
In fact, they've left information out could actually be a case of nah, it's too much. There's too much of a mix up.
Do you feel like, because obviously we've kind of spoke about this, right, in different fields, more so in fields I guess we care about, innit? Like movies, the film industry, music industry, things of that nature, right? But do you feel like we should kind of have the same energy across the board for every profession and every field? So, for example, earlier you mentioned something about RAF. You don't really care about that, innit? You know what I'm saying? And obviously, the other day we were speaking about police. It's not like we want black people in the police, right? But then, why are we able to pick and choose? Why is it okay for us to do that?
Okay, so are you saying, let's just take an example of, normal retail or corporate spaces. Do we have the same thought process compared to us talking about the army in relation to the question?
It would only be things that you care about. I've never thought about black people's representation in retail space.
I think
I don't give a shit.
I think it matters a bit more.
Why?
One, because you're going to have to kill people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're putting your life at risk for your country and your loved ones. But in Tesco, stacking shelves, you're seeing all sorts of demographics coming in and whatnot. There must be representation in that particular store, I believe, because you're gonna be mixing with all of them.
Is that how you think?
Yeah, 100%. If you're serving people, right, as in not like how the army's serving the nation, if you're actually mixing around with them, interacting with them, 100%, there needs to be representation.
So if you walked into a supermarket and every worker in there was white, you would be shocked and appalled.
I wouldn't care. I'm going to buy my groceries and going out the business.
That's what I'm saying.
No. That's not what you're saying. It could be what you're saying, but you've said that. Basically, try to counter what I've said, right? If you're living in a community,
there needs to be the representation of
that community.
The army is living and representing the country.
I hear that.
So then don't there need to be representation of the country then?
I hear that, but it's also a case where there is a bond made between these soldiers when they're going off to fight and possibly die.
Yeah.
And I'm probably making an argument for there to be more diversity in the army after me thinking through this. If you're going out there and you have to rely on your brother or your sister with your life, you want that to be not marred with any form of prejudice or racist stereotypes and biases, right? And if I haven't got the training for the 21 years of my life, I've been a racist for 21 years of my life, I don't want to have to go out there and now have to basically start from scratch, trying to learn Akbar's or Jamal's name, his culture, what he likes, what he doesn't like. I'm out there just trying to kill people for my people back home. My people back home, I'm not fighting for you blacks. I'm fighting for my family.
Yeah, but a man in the army,
Prickly.
a man in the army that's got
My family.
a soldier or whatever, and he's a brethren, that's a black man, he probably don't look at him like the rest of the other black men.
Talk to me again, Ted.
Like a man in the army, he's got a brethren that's a soldier, that's a black man, a white man.
He just sees him as a brother. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe initially,
Brother in arms.
once if they've been through,
You're saying they don't see colour.
I'm saying if they've been through
I think
things,
go through it first.
yeah, maybe.
And that black man has to save his life and then he sees him differently. Some trauma needs to happen to evaluate how it is he sees that black man.
I think in those spaces, yeah, even like say like in sports, people like who might not like mix culturally out of their team, but when they're together, they're on the team and that's their teammates and all that. Like, but I think certain situations in them bubbles, they're like, you know what I'm trying to say. So I think in the army there won't be that.
Yeah,
there wouldn't be that.
Yeah.
I don't know because I've never been, but I'm gonna assume once they're over there fighting, they're fighting.
Yeah.
Like you ain't got no time to be racist in war, surely. Only maybe against the people you're killing, obviously.
100%, because some of them go to kill them because they don't like them because of their difference.
Yeah, but then they'll find similarities in the black man. We're the same, they're different.
But we just talked about Tyre. I mean, all blacks aren't the same. And the understanding of brotherhood or fealty to their people aren't the same. So you can have a black man in that particular squadron who would still go and lick up a whole set of black men because he hates how they live based on where he's grown up or who he's grown up around.
So you think for the most efficient way for the army to work is just it would be white people?
No, I'm not saying that. I don't lose sleep over there being too many white men in the British Army. Do you understand? I'm not British. I don't care. But I happen to be in this conversation now, right? If I was British, or if I were British, sorry, I still don't think I would care as much. Only when now forced with the conversation, now that war has changed in a sense where it's not as just run over the hill and look to basically shoot. There's more nuances involved. Months upon months, you are just communing with
people.
Your people.
Yeah.
That now matters. And now you must actually reflect the nation that you're fighting for, the ideals that you're trying to uphold, because you claim that you guys are fair, you guys are a democratic nation, and what you're doing is you're looking to restore peace or balance or whatever. That needs to be reflected in your missions, in the squadrons, and your ethics, I believe.
So you think it's important that the army reflects the countries, like the diversity, the soldiers, and
In now talking, yes, I do believe it's important. I think it's very important, especially when it is that you're now, if you parade them, and you're seen like a just scrolling across the panning.
Yeah, they're marching.
You need
across.
to see a couple. You need to see women there. You need to see different colors there, especially if it is you're saying this selection represents this nation. I think it's important, even if just for optics. That's probably why they're doing what they're doing, and now they're saying it doesn't work.
I don't know if I've ever been too bothered. I get it, because I get.
I told you I'm not bothered because I'm not British.
No, but even
now,
with,
if I am British,
saying,
no, because I 100% get what you're saying. I could just picture you watching this thing, and there's marching across the screen.
yeah,
You know what I'm trying to say? It's just like, I don't know. When they open a ceremony for Olympics, you would expect to see all shapes and sizes. Maybe the same color, because obviously they're all the nations, but you expect to see all different shapes and sizes of people, representation of a whole country. So if there was like an army strolling across and it was just all white males, but no, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I don't know if I'd.
it's harder for me to support the Olympics. Let's say it's a 100-meter, I have 100-meter dash, and it's only white men representing the UK. It's harder for me to basically cheer for them to win.
That's because you know they're not going to win. That's because you know they're going to lose. Because if he was the White Lightning, White Lightning, you'd rep it.
I said White Lightning. I know. I don't think I would. I might be in awe of the occasion. And the
Hello?
fact that Izzy just
Hello,
mixed up
sorry, caller. How you doing?
Usain Bolt.
How's it
Good morning.
going? Yeah.
What's your name?
My name is William.
Nice to meet you, William. What are your thoughts on this topic?
So for this, I was in the TA for some time. For some time, I was in the TA, and the representation there. How can I say this? The best way I can put it is best to have racists in the army, because these are the ones that are going to defend the country tooth and nail. The time I was in the army, the first month I was there, we had to do basic training, ATH training, and a picture of Mr. T on the wall. You have to describe him using like different characteristics, so age, build, color, hair, so and so. Hence the name ATH. And one of the first things one of the white recruits came out with was, he's got a flat nose. Everybody started laughing in the training center. And it was me and one other mixed race guy. And instinctively, we just looked at each other and was like, yeah, we fucked up. We shouldn't be here. We're not here. Like, we literally just instinctively gave each other that look. And from that time on, we just had a bond from there. But it all depends on what you're looking to get out of something like that kind of institution. Me personally, what I was looking to gain from that was the connections. So when I wanted to get a different type of job or have that connections in terms of finances or just anything in general, I would have those connections. You would see the old army veterans there when you go to certain buildings in the army base, and you could have certain conversations. So it depends on what you're looking to get out of it. In terms of representation for the army, nah. I would much rather have a whole bunch of races in there who would defend the country tooth and nail and say, "Oh, you black bastard," and da-da-da-da. And on top of that, for the commanding generals and sergeants and everyone that's on the actual ground, it makes it much easier for those soldiers or anyone doing JTAC, so basically the drones, to go, you know what, I can kill that person because I don't relate to them and I don't like them. For whatever their reason may be, it makes it easier for those soldiers to operate. So My personal stance from me even being in the TA, it makes it a whole lot easier to control the soldiers and the people further up to get the job done. And one other interesting thing was the other black people that I met during my time in the TA, they got heavily indoctrinated, so much to a point where you would have conversations with them. And sometimes you'd have to do recruitment. So maybe you'll go to a local shopping center and you'll put up like banners and stuff and say, oh, join the army or join the TA. And the conversations that you would end up having with them, like, I don't like come to this area. People are whatless, or these people are lazy. Look at all these people shopping. You know, it's like, hold on, mate, they're just shopping. I know, but this area is rubbish. Wait, we're in Hackney. There's nothing wrong with Hackney. No, these people are just lazy. They're just down there. It's just hardcore derogatory things these soldiers who are there to do the recruitment are saying about the general public. So I'm thinking, even the black people that are there, they were more or less career soldiers. The TA is like part-time, if you will. And then career is like full Monday to Sunday, 24/7. So I found most of the career soldiers are quite hardcore. Like, I don't like no one who isn't like me from the army. And it's pretty sad, but a few of the black people there, they were heavily indoctrinated. And most of them weren't there for, let me use this as a springboard to get something out of it. They just got heavily indoctrinated.
You don't sound like the white man got you. How did you manage to stay strong through it all?
Remember, he said he only went there to network.
Huh?
He said he only went there to network.
No,
yeah, but you can get wrapped up though. You can fall in the rabbit hole.
Oh no, definitely. But for me, my family is Caribbean, so literally from as young as I can remember, things like Marcus Garvey, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. One of the books that my dad gave me was The Miseducation in Negro. So he made sure that things like me knowing where I've come from and who I am, blah blah blah, was always stuck in me. Blah blah blah, things like that. So I always knew. But I was lucky enough to have parents like that who made sure that they let me know, look, you are black, your life is going to be fucking tough. Excuse my French, I apologize. Your life is going to be tough. However, you're going to go on an adventure in your life. Just be aware of these pitfalls around you. And if you can help other black people along the way, do it. Do it 100%. Even if they don't want your help, do it. Help them. So for me, it was because of my family around me who were like, do what you want. Live your life. Just be aware that you're black. Never forget that. But it's a good thing. But again, just to bring it back around, in the army, it's much better to have a whole load of races from, if you a managerial point, makes it much easier to control the soldiers because they don't like what they don't know. They just will do the job at hand. So representation, it depends on the country. It really depends on the country.
After speaking to you, I'm 100% sure I don't care now. Like, you get me? I was teetering a bit, and now I'm black again. I'm 100% sure it could be. You don't need. I don't care.
I don't want black people to go over there. Yeah.
To be honest,
And I don't want.
if you go in the army, if you go in the army, me personally, if hopefully, if anyone that is thinking about or wants to join the army, join as TA and be objective. Say, you know what? These people are going to be off the bat racist. However, what can I take from that? Right, these people are going to be in my face. You black. You black. Oh, look at your hair. Oh, they're going to be off the bat racist from the jump. Accept it. Use that as something where it will build up your mental armory, where you can take that in the army every day, flipping the sergeant, kicking in the door 5 o'clock in the morning. Oh, you should be up by now. You should be up now. Look at you, lazy git. Oh, you need a stereotype. Get up. Use that as a development tool to build up your mental army. So when you go into the office jobs or whatnot, and you're dealing with a whole bunch of passive-aggressive people, it's nothing. It is absolutely nothing compared to what you've just come from. And like I said, use it to build up your connections. You get to meet some of the old army veterans and, some of the sergeants and whatnot. Use it. use that as your springboard to network and go, right, maybe I don't like my current job I'm doing. I've made all these connections. How can I use these guys to get me into somewhere I really want to be? And it will work out for you. But you just need to make sure that you have an objective. What can I get out?
Yeah.
Don't get sucked in too much, but what can you get out? As long as you do that, then it's fine. But representation just depends on the country. And yes, I'd rather much have racists defending the country than representation in the army.
You know, William, yeah, watch this, yeah. In America, yeah, you know how you would get people in the army walking around, like they may have their, their army apparel or not and whatnot, yeah. And even like racist white people will see a black person in the army and be like, look, thank you for fighting for the country, this, that, and third, right? In terms of optics, could that same thing not translate here in the UK? Where, for example, a black person, seeing black people represented in the army could potentially get people from certain backgrounds who are racist and stuff, right? Or just don't have as much interaction with black people and other minorities to be like, you know what? These black people are not all the same. They actually care. They're British like me. They're willing to put their lives on the line for this country. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, the thing is, you're looking at it with the lens of nuance. You're not looking at it as the everyday Joe Blogs, Caucasian, Asian, black, whatever person. You're looking at it with a nuance lens. No, is the answer to the question. As far as any other ethnicity is concerned about a black person doing something, we're as useful as our usefulness. So if we're an army, okay, army, but you're still black. Oh, you're doing something? Well, I'm not going to give you the respect because I don't have to, because there's no value in me giving you respect. There's nothing as you, a black person, can give to me if I show you respect. There's nothing you can give to me economically, financially, religiously, socially. There's nothing you can give to me by me showing you any sort of respect, regardless of the optic. There's nothing. So I won't show you respect. I'll just appreciate your usefulness in what you're doing in that space, i.e. the army. Again, for black people, it's a bit different. However, it's still very 50-50. If it's a black person looking at it with that lens, it's, well, you're doing something great, but you know what? I don't trust you because you're working for the white man, or you're working for the Chinese army, or the Korean army, or the Indian army, or the Jamaican army, or the St. Vincent army, whatever it may be. There's still that 50-50 optic of, I respect you, but I don't respect you because I know of the history to an extent of why these organizations were even existed. So to answer your question, no.
Okay. Do you last question? Yeah. Do you feel like that's the same thing with the police as well? Because we were touching on this the other day. Do you feel like it's futile for black people to
you know what? Funny enough, again with that, again, the same. Again, it's not going to be a nice answer I'm going to give on this, but it's the same rule applies. I would rather much have races in the police force defending it than having a representation. Now, the reason being is there's rules and regulations. Even though they get briefed from time to time where, no, you can't have a police officer abuse somebody and then they end up kicking the crap out of you or whatever, there's still a contractual agreement that they must oblige by, legally and lawfully. So again, if you get kicked up by the police for whatever reason it may be, if you can prove via video evidence or phone call or someone else's CCTV footage that you was getting kicked in unlawfully or illegally, then you get a payout. So to an extent, yeah. However, if it was a case of, and this is me saying this in the ideal world, if it was a case of you had a minimum of at least 5,000 black people, regardless of their hue, light skin, dark skin, whatever, regardless of hue, minimum of 5,000 black people, yeah, not just within London, but like literally dotted around the UK, who said, you know what, we're going to go for this. We're literally going to go for this. We're going to be in the police force. We're not going to, make a whole big PR announcement about it, but we're going to go for this. We're going to let our families know. We're going to continuously ask for support. We're going to jam it down everyone's throat. We're in the police. We're here to help our communities, and you service the communities where your people are, and you do it righteously. I guarantee you it will work out. Just on the basis that it's a consistent thing, action that you're jamming down the throats and minds of your actual community, i.e., in this instance, the black community. If you had a minimum of 5,000 black people doing that, and specifically black men doing this, I guarantee you it would work out. That is how confident, in an ideal world, if a minimum of 5,000 black people to do it, it will work out. But that's an ideal world.
Ideal world, yeah. All right, William, sorry, one last question, yeah. Can you give an example or examples of the networking you can do in the army?
So...
Like, what links do they have?
So for most of it was... how can I say? It was mainly like you meet people who work in like law firms, in the finance district. Those are the main kind of people that I met.
Okay.
You had some other people who had private businesses, and they would offer you like, if you want to come and work for us, like pay won't be that great, but we can slide you in, we can work you up the ladder, blah blah blah. Okay. But for the most part, it was financial and like law firm people that you would end up meeting there. So it was all right.
What about the training? What about the training? Do they offer like a lot of skills and stuff?
In regards to combat training or in regards to something else?
No, like life skills. I also see adverts. They talk about engineering.
No. So if you're in the army, regardless of your career or TA, it is you're learning weapons. First, I think it was 2 weeks in, we was already learning how to use the guns. Like first 2 weeks in. Okay. So regardless of your career or TA, it's going to be you're going to do your PT and you're going to do weapons training, A to H, first aid, and then maybe after I think 2 months, we started getting shipped off to all over the place to do like flipping, running around in the forest, learning night vision, map reading, 4x4 squares and then 6x6 squares. Like your day will start at like 5 a.m. You're running up hills and things like that, and then your day will maybe finish at like 12 a.m. and then you'll finish doing map reading. So that was it was a tough time. But in terms of training, you're not learning anything outside of how to be a soldier. That is it. Okay. So that's why you have to be objective and go, right, when we get invited to go to social functions, you put on your best suit, tie, and you start mingling with the right people.
But what about the way to go? So what all them specialist stuff where they're saying like, when it's like... I can't explain it because I just see them adverts like mechanics and that. They're saying like, if you're a mechanic or chef or chefs or something. But what I was asking, I'm saying, do they call specialist people in or can they teach you that, if that makes sense?
Oh no. So you can do that. So whether it's A battery, P company, logistics, transport, not SAS, like special ops, JTAC, aka the drones. Depending on time spent and you actually showing, I want to do JTAC or I want special ops or I want to be logistics or I want to be A battery, P company, blah, 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 chef, or even the laundry guy. Like once you show them and you say, this is what I want to do, this is the direction I want to take, this is what I want to specialize in, then you're just going to be a standard foot soldier. So you have to go that route of, and again, like, when you first sign up, like they made you go to this open day where they have everything there. So you see what P company does. So the paratroopers, you see what A battery does. You see what logistics does. You see like special forces and things like that. You get to see all these things when when you're there for like, I think about maybe a month or so, you get to go to the open evenings and things like that. But again, you have to open your mouth and say, this is where I want to go. And you have to more or less, maybe not dramatize it, but you have to dedicate yourself to it, basically.
Okay,
man.
Okay, fair enough.
Thank you very much, William, man. Brilliant call, man.
No problem. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
I said I sound like I'm interested in joining. What? Are you sort of foolish?
All right, so the TA reference
It's a territorial
means
army.
territorial army, and
They don't go nowhere.
it's a part of the military forces
They
of
don't-
Britain
they-
that is
they don't
made up
fight.
of people who are not professional soldiers but are given military training for a period of time each year. So they're like reserves, isn't it?
They don't fight.
Yeah. So
There, you see the TA. If we got invaded, TA is going to be the first call because obviously the other army ain't going to be here. Do you get what I'm trying to say? The other army is going to be shipped out across the world. It's the TA that's going
what
to
I
have to
wanted
step
to
out.
know is how it is that he was able to be meeting all those different people in all those different fields or industries. And this is why, because they're like, all right, cool. I want to basically be a reserve, but I'm working in corporate. I'm working in this particular industry. All right, cool. Let me sign up to this.
Also, they
That's
do
how
it
we've
part time
been-
and that.
I understand the network in that sense.
Yeah.
You understand? But I don't think he's suggesting that people should go into the army. This is just all right, want something to do. Want some skills. Want a
Something to
network.
benefit you.
All right, come on, do this.
So you could go if you go
Once
to because if you
every-
go to the TA, you're safe. You get me? So maybe
and job prospects go up.
Yeah.
I hear you. So if you could just put up with all that racism, then
But on the outskirts, innit? They're getting the racism from, I guess, the people who are teaching them and also the ones that are coming in from their spaces. Corporate spaces and whatnot.
I don't know. Does it sound like something you'd recommend to anybody? You don't want to go to the army?
Isn't it like sending you to Nigeria, Manuel? You know how your parents send you back for a little while? Back to Trinidad, back to Jamaica, just for a little discipline.
But
Core lessons, core life lessons.
is it the
Being
same?
able
though?
to follow instructions.
Yeah, but after you know, like you
boarding school.
leave, after you leave boarding school, nobody's gonna say, "Oh, you need to join the army if there's a war." You know what I'm saying? It's a bit different. Man.
Just the benefits, to be honest.
Yeah,
Racists should actually look to fight for whatever ideals that they're fighting for, to be
That
honest.
logic that he said though, no one ain't gonna defend England like the racists, man.
Yeah.
Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Let them go, man. Are
They're
you
already
sick?
deluded. Yeah.
Yeah.
These are the man them that I want on the front line. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, man, he's got the right idea, man. That should be criteria. It's for the army. You racist? Nope. Heart's too clean, man. Get out of there, man. Your heart is too clean, baby.
But to be honest, do you think that your brain, your psyche needs to be so warped in order to come into a particular feel like this and do well?
I don't think warped.
Not warped. You could be patriotic. You could be.
Are there any versions of extreme patriotism?
Yeah.
This is why I said warped, like a full-on far left or far right, in order to really commit to a thing like this. You can mold a person like this because they've already showed discipline in wayward ways, right? Once it is that the ideology is latched onto something, nobody's stopping them from actually looking to achieve this thing.
It's true, though.
They just want to sharpen every single aspect in order to just execute this brilliantly. Because even the example of certain individuals waking up early to go to places outside of their normal habitat to basically shot food and whatnot. It's a particular psyche.
Well, you think they have to be tapped to do
And
that?
then, and then facing off against people with weapons and stuff with no fear. I'm already dead.
No,
understand?
that's not the mindset.
No?
You
Not at all?
better have fair. You got some sense. You need sense in your head.
Right, so the absence of fear makes you
Absence of fear is not good for anyone.
Huh?
The absence of fear, go on, it makes you what?
Does it make you vulnerable to dangers?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why you're saying fear is important.
Yeah, fear is important. People who ain't scared are vulnerable.
So when you be saying, I ain't care about nobody, I don't fear no man,
Huh?
you're lying?
No. Because it's like, I don't need to fear no man, but it's like what, what's that thing that Will Smith said in that film with his youth?
Before I got slapped after.
Yeah, man. Like, I can't remember the whole thing. Like, you don't need to be scared of nothing. Fear and danger, like you can't be like danger when you're in danger, and that's when you need to be worried. You get me? Fear about thinking about things that might not happen. There's no need to be. There's no need to worry about that. You know what I'm trying to say? So I'm saying me being aware of my surroundings, understanding when I'm in danger and when I'm in trouble, and acting about. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm trying to say? But it's got to be real. It can't just be the thought of something. Like fear's not. It's not bothering me. It's the danger that I'm worried about. So you need to have your awareness about you. You know what I'm trying to say? That you can't just think you're impenetrable, and because you get fuck up.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's beautiful, man.
Yeah, man.
We still cooking.
That's it for.
All right, let's get back into more headlines then, man.
All right, so our next headline, again, the Russia-Ukraine war. And basically, Russia's planning an all-out offense on the 24th of February. I'm not too sure why they've given them prior notice, but they've decided to do so. But so Ukraine's defense minister said Russia is preparing a major new offensive and warned that it could begin as soon as the 24th of February. Alexei Reznikov said that Moscow had amassed thousands of troops and could try something to mark the anniversary of the initial invasion last year. Wow. The attack would also mark Russia's Defender of the Fatherland Day on the 23rd of February, which celebrates the army. Meanwhile, 3 people have died in an attack on the city of Kramatorsk. 7 others have been wounded in the Donetsk region after a Russian missile struck a residential building. The provincial governor came out and was speaking about that, and also said that the toll is expected to rise as rescuers comb through the wreckage. He also said that the only way to stop Russian terrorism is to defeat it by tanks, fighter jets, long-range missiles. And Ukraine has recently renewed calls for fighter jets to help protect itself from air attacks from Germany, the US, and the UK. And they agreed to send them tanks, but obviously they've rejected the whole fighter jet thing. The next headline takes us to Africa, man. And Pope Francis has visited the Democratic Republic of Congo. And because of that, they've celebrated one of the biggest masses with around 1 million attendees.
1 million people at mass.
Yeah, man.
Bombers not.
Yeah, man. You know, black people like religion and all them things there. So huge crowds started to gather in Kinshasa well before dawn, including scores of schoolgirls dressed in white who danced along the Pope's route. A public holiday was also declared, so as many people as possible could attend. Around half of the DR Congo's population is Catholic, which is the largest Catholic community in Africa. It's been more than 37 years since a pope has visited the conflict-ridden but mineral-rich country. Pope Francis was greeted by jubilant scenes at Ndole Airport. One of the people that was there basically was speaking to Reuters news agency, and she said, my joy is so huge. She said, it's too huge that I think I'm going to cry. You know what I'm saying? So they're treating the Pope like Michael Jackson, man. He's a big celebrity there, man. So a 700-person choir that had been practicing together long before the pontiff was originally due to visit last July had been assembled specifically for the event. The Pope's original visit had been postponed because of poor health. There had been some murmurings that the Pope has not been as critical of the Democratic Republic of Congo's political leadership as some had hoped, but the Mass was a joyful event, and the pontiff did have a strong message of peace for those engaging in the conflict in the country. He said that warring sides should forgive one another and grant their opponents a great amnesty of the heart. He went on to espouse the benefits of cleansing one's heart of anger and remorse, of every trace of resentment and hostility. However, the second day of his visit coincides with a continuation of fighting between the Congolese army and the rebels. So I guess it was just a one-day break.
What's the biggest choir you've seen?
What, in person or on TV?
I don't know, because when you just said a 700 people choir, I feel like I don't even know if I don't think I've witnessed anything like this. It sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, huge.
How do you even coach that? Don't you have to be good? That's a lot of people, you know.
Yeah, man.
Well,
yeah, they've been practicing since last year.
I don't know. You guys be seeing bloody football stadiums every flipping week, so I don't know what you're talking about.
But they're
that's
not
people
quiet,
singing in
so.
unison. That's not a choir, bro. A choir is gonna have a conductor at the front of it, patting it up. These are gonna have to sit. Wherever they sing, they're gonna have to sound.
Bro.
The players are the conductors, bro. I hear that. People singing in unison is lit, though.
Mm-hmm. And our next headline, trigger warning here, and this is another update with the Andrew Tate situation in Romania. So a Romanian appeals court has upheld a decision last month to extend Andrew Tate's detention, meaning that the former kickboxer, influencer, and professed misogynist will remain in preventative in preventive custody until at least the 27th of February. Andrew Tate, 36, and his brother Tristan is 34, and 2 Romanian female suspects, one a former police officer, were arrested in December on suspicion of human trafficking, rape, and forming an organised crime group to exploit women. All have denied wrongdoing. Last month, a judge extended their detention until the end of February, citing the capacity of the defendants to exercise permanent psychological control over their victims, including by resorting to constant acts of violence. That decision was upheld by the Bucharest Court of Appeal on Wednesday after a brief hearing for which the Tate brothers arrived in the police van handcuffed together, with Andrew proclaiming his innocence to waiting reporters. Neither of them obviously have yet to be charged. The brothers' US legal advisor, Tina Glandian, who had previously represented Mike Tyson and Chris Brown and Kesha, argued that their detention without charge for more than 30 days violated their international human rights. And yeah, that's pretty much...
He's got to go down for this, you know.
But if there's enough evidence...
Nah, because if he don't, he's going to be unbearable. I'll be honest with you. If he busts this case, can you just imagine the content this guy's going to...
It's going to be mad, you know.
Yeah, and I don't want to hear no more Top G. I'll be honest with you. So I hope it goes down for this. No, Kevin, he's gonna be unbearable. I don't want it. He needs to do a little time, just humble himself a little bit. Maybe we'll change his style. You get me? I don't know. But yeah, let's get into our next segment. There's no word on the road. We put People's Journal.
All right, people. Welcome to the People's Journal, where I give you the news from an economics point of view. First thing at the top of the list I want to talk about is the Bank of England and how they're expected to raise interest rates again. This is going to be the 10th time. Yeah. Analysts are predicting that it's kind of nearing the peak, though. That, you know, hopefully this should be maybe, if not the last one, maybe one just before the last, innit? And so... the benchmark rate is widely expected to go up from 3.5% to 4%, right? After their monetary policy committee meeting. It's already at the highest it's been in 14 years. And obviously, we spoke about the impact that this raise in the interest rate will have on borrowers, mortgages, saving accounts, and things of that nature. But obviously, the general gist of it is basically increase the interest rates to kind of curb inflation. Hopefully people borrow less, spend less, save more. You know what I'm saying? But obviously you kind of have to balance it, because if you do it too much, obviously you're going to stifle the economy, you know what I'm saying, completely. So that's why they're kind of doing it incrementally. And hopefully, anyway, they're saying they want to kind of stop soon, you know what I'm saying? Because inflation has slowed down anyway. So it does seem to be working to some degree. The other thing I want to talk about is water bills, man. Basically, they're set to get the highest or the biggest increase in almost 20 years from April. So the annual bill for an average household in England and Wales will hit £448. This is what they're saying. There will be an increase of 7.5%, which will mean that people will be paying £31 more than last year on average. Doesn't seem like the biggest thing, but obviously, you know what I'm saying? You can't just be getting increases like for no bloody reason, especially at a time like this. Consumer groups who've been speaking about this are saying that the rise would squeeze struggling households when 1 in 5 are already finding it difficult to pay their water bills. But Water UK says the rise for most customers will be below inflation. So obviously, you know what I mean? They're basically saying, like, relaxing it. It's not the biggest deal in the world. The other thing I want to talk about is King Charles, man. Obviously, as we know, the currency, paper notes, coins, and all that type of stuff will gradually be putting his face on stuff, right? As time progresses and stuff. And obviously Australia kind of had the Queen's head on their notes as well, innit? But they're basically saying, King Charles, nope, we don't want you, man. So his head is not going to be featuring on Australia's new $5 note.
Hey, stupid. Take the note away then. Are you crazy? What they ain't got no say over this?
Who Australia?
No, England.
England. I guess not, man.
Nah, I'll be what?
I think they've been trying to be more independent, man.
Like, take my mum's face off your money, rude boy. It's man stupid. It's man dumb. It's man dumb. Take my mum's face off your money if you're not gonna put my grid on it. My mum,
Can you imagine?
Man want me to go mad in it.
Man. Remember, like I was saying before, they've been talking about this whole thing. They've been debating it, man, about their future as a constitutional monarchy and all that type of stuff. As the monarchy is constitutional monarchy in Australia, and apparently the bank have come out and said that this decision by the Reserve Bank board follows consultation with the Australian government, and they're supporting the change, man. So it seems like everyone in Australia is behind it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they also added that the bank will consult with first Australians in designing the $5 banknote. The new banknote will take a number of years to be designed and printed. In the meantime, the current $5 banknote will continue to be issued. It will be able to be used even after the new banknote is issued, kind of like everywhere else, isn't it? But yeah, man, I guess they want to be free of this.
Well, it's all right. They put dead people on money all the time, innit?
Yeah. And the last thing I want to talk about is Netflix, man. Remember, again, we've been talking about how Netflix are going to be regulating this whole sharing of passwords and stuff, innit? So they've come out and basically said how they're going to be doing it. So what they're saying is that Netflix is going to treat devices, which use your account as trusted if they connect to your home Wi-Fi regularly. That's how they're going to do it.
Say it again, sorry?
So they're going to be like the devices which use your account and they consider as a trusted account that they give permission to utilize your password and stuff. They're only allowed those devices rather, to still log into your thing if they connect to your Wi-Fi regularly.
So if it's in a different household, it's not going to work?
Yeah, unless they take their device, come to your house, log in again, and then go back home. That's basically what they're saying. So what they're saying is, where is it? Basically, you need to be logged in at least once every 31 days. So once a month. Yeah.
Sounds long.
Yeah. But they're saying, but if a device from outside your household signs in or is used persistently, Netflix says it may ask you to verify that device before it can be used to watch anything. Yeah, man. So that's basically what they're saying. What sort of verification though? They're saying it will send a link to the email address or phone number associated with the primary account holder. It's going to contain a 4-digit code which needs to be entered into the untrusted device, the new one that's trying to log in, within 15 minutes. And this may be required periodically as well to make sure these things thingy. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, people are then saying, okay, so can I still share my account type thing? Technically, yes, you can. It's just going to be obviously a lot more inconvenient and riskier and all that type of stuff there. And may even end up costing you. Firstly, what they're saying is Netflix limits how many devices that can be used on your account, right? On your account simultaneously. I think we spoke about this before. You know how sometimes, like for example, you need to have a certain type of membership, right? So that different people can use the same account. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so obviously they're regulating that, right? And I think the maximum is 4 people, and that's going to cost you like $15.99 a month. But even with the whole constant verification calls and messages and all them type of things there, Netflix is basically saying that if they suspect any password sharing, like blatant password sharing all over the gaff, then obviously they're going to cut off the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how they're basically going to regulate it, man. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the People's Journal.
All right, then. What's our next segment? Woke or Joker? Let's get into Woke or Joke then.
All right, so today's Woke or Joke, this might be a short one. Probably will be a short one. But I think I might turn this into a series, of some sort. But the question is, okay. The question is, can being too woke be a joke? Off the top of your head, can it be a joke? Because obviously a lot of the time when we look at these Hotep guys, and these, you know what I mean, like proper, super pro-black guys, and women, of course, equal opportunities, we don't take them serious. You know what I'm saying? So how woke can you be to be taken serious and not tip over the edge, if that makes sense?
I don't know.
Before you answer that, Mags, you don't take them serious, Manuel?
I'm talking generally, of course, no, all of them, of course not.
How about the
With the crystals.
5%ers?
No, the 5% are serious, man.
How do you rank the 5%ers and the hoteps,
What's the 5%ers?
Manuel?
Okay, so the 5%ers, yeah, they're like the 5% is kind of like it's another name for the Nation of Gods and Earths, right? And they're like an offshoot, for lack of a better term, of the Nation of Islam. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So basically, they were started by a person by the name of Clarence 13X. He was in a mosque being taught by Malcolm X and things of that nature. In the 60s or so, he kind of left, started the Nation of Gods and Earths. And their teachings is based on the teachings of the Nation of Islam.
Did they preach in the street like the hoteps?
No, they don't preach. Not in
What?
in the past, especially when they were first like coming up, one could say they preach, for lack of a better term, innit? Drop knowledge and build, basically. But but you know what I'm saying? But nowadays, they're not as prevalent in New York and certain places, especially in America, as they were back in the days.
What's today's mathematics?
Today is the second, so today mathematics is wisdom.
If it were the 12th, what would it be?
It would be knowledge, wisdom, or being born to understand it.
He's a quickly throws at
Yeah, man.
Sorry, back to
Big up the 5%ers, man.
if you say so.
So how woke is too woke then?
All right, what about them people that talk about metrograde and retrograde and all them type of things there?
Is that woke?
I think, ain't it?
That's stars. That's what them star signs.
Yeah, but is that real though? Isn't it? Is that really affecting how people behave?
Define woke for me so that he could actually answer the
cool.
question properly.
My Mercury, when did they tell you their Mercury's rising and things?
And you know how they use, some people use crystals as like roll-on and stuff, innit? You know
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. Ain't that part of the woke community thing?
Is that a wokeness?
I don't know, you know. Maybe I'm
That's
kind of...
I thought that's like witchcraft.
What?
What them crystal babes and that?
So you do believe that astrology is witchcraft, right? This is what you're saying, basically.
No, but crystallize. When you start crystallization,
Crystallization.
when you're bringing me crystals that change your mood and thing, and then telling me you got to bring them around your head
But you
clockwise
believe in energies and the universe having energies, and we're part of one particular energy, yes?
Yeah, I do believe in energy. I'm big on energy in that.
So
saying crystals can maximize your energies and that.
So you dip the tip in, but you don't fully commit. They're fully committing.
Huh?
They're fully committing. He's saying that they use crystals for rolling and whatnot. That's actually true. Somebody actually tried to sell me a theory that I don't need.
Yeah, I've seen people with crystals that are supposed to have all different
Powers and stuff.
powers and that. You know what I'm trying to say? That can they? That's not. I don't. Is that woke?
I think so, you know.
Huh?
I don't even know. I'm
to
confused.
All right, Maya, give us a definition. Your definition of woke.
I thought that was considered woke, though.
For witchcraft?
No. All right, for example, you know you got some people, yeah, who have like gold infused water, right? So it's water, yeah. And it's got maybe gold dust in it, right? Drink that and it helps your insides and kills cancer and all them type of things there.
Some people just got too much information. That's what it is.
Would you call them spiritual or mystical as opposed to woke?
Okay, cool. Okay, so what's your definition of woke then? Because I think I'm kind of
let me read this here, right?
Okay, cool.
Woke is now defined, it's interesting they say now defined, as aware of and actively attentive to important facts and issues, especially issues of racial and social justice.
Okay.
That's my understanding of it.
Okay. But a lot of them people, are they like users of crystals as roll-on as well?
I don't know. Are the
Is it-
Hotep users of crystals and Rolands?
Not all of them, but
And how about the 5%ers?
no, 5%.
But some people will say the 5%ers are woke,
yeah,
especially based on this
that's true.
definition.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So maybe it's just mysticism and spirituality and whatnot, right? Like hardcore stuff. And mixing astrology in there.
To me, being woke
Earth
means
people of
the being woke means like that being up on something. If that makes sense.
Enlightened.
Enlightened.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm trying to say? So the woke turns into a joke because some people think that they're enlightened, but what they're enlightened with is Egyptness, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
foolishness.
Exactly.
And I think that's where the problem comes from, because I think you could be woke about anything if you've got the information. You know what I'm trying to say? That if you've got the information, and you've got the knowledge there, and you know this for a fact, but other people don't deem this fact important or factual enough, then you can speak from a position of proper knowledge, innit? That's woke, innit? Like, and I'm saying regardless of whatever your subject matter is, it will just fit accordingly. It could be on anything. It could be on, I don't know. Like I say, I think it could be on anything. But I think if you're in the know and you're up on it, then obviously that's being woke, innit? So then it just fits for different things. So certain times, like with the way that society's done and just race and politics and all these things, some people are up on it. You know what I'm trying to say? That some people really know what are going.
But how do we determine if somebody's really up on something or if they're just talking? Because you can have the appearance of being
conviction.
It is about conviction, though. Yeah, it is, though. Because sometimes people be like spewing out all this information and it's stuff that you don't know, and they're saying it convincingly, and it sounds important, and then you're like, yeah, he's kicking it, but it's like you don't even know, like you don't know this stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, so it's fucked up. So I don't know how you did it. You know what I'm trying to say? Like Dr. Umar speaks, yeah, and sounds like a sensible man. Yeah. And every time he spoke, there's someone there not every time. He's getting better a lot recently, but especially like a few years ago, every time he spoke, there will be people that want to like debunk certain things he's saying and that. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? That, but it's like when he's actually talking and kicking it, I'm saying, right, this sounded like the realest shit he ever wrote. I thought this was facts on facts on facts. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. And then someone will come out and break something down and say that this man's talking nonsense. You know what I'm trying to say? So I don't know how you decide. It's the people with the knowledge, isn't it? The people with the knowledge.
Because you know how you get people who, obviously, a lot of these woke people then talk about secret societies, right? Illuminati, you know, the impact of, you know, certain banking families and things of that nature, right? But then, and I guess, would you consider that woke as well then?
What, people
like, spitting knowledge about, you know.
Illuminati. Yeah. But this is why, how do we decide who's right
this
and
is
wrong?
what I'm saying.
But if you know, you know. This is why I'm woke and why you ain't. Don't you get it? This is why they're calling me a madman. Because you don't know nothing. But I know. This is, it's crazy.
But is it just is it just knowing though? Because sometimes it's almost like you have to believe something that goes against the consensus. Like nobody will call somebody woke for believing the world is round.
Yeah.
But if you're a flat earther now, but that's woke.
No, you're crazy. I don't know if it's woke, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think in that. What? Yeah, so that's not wokeness. But again, I suppose it could be if you have the information. Like it's the. How do you decide what's real? Like who has the facts?
This is what I'm saying. And how far does it go? Because I feel like once we say, for example, say we're like, you know, Mark has got the knowledge, you know. Mark is woke, right? Every time you come around, you're saying something new. Eventually it gets to the point where it's like, you have to find new things to say.
I'm going to start getting my shit off.
You know what I'm saying? This is what happens. And then, like, where do we stop? Where do we stop? It's dangerous, man. That's what I'm saying. Can you be so woke, you become a joke, man?
You know what? I think you can. I think you can definitely become so woke, you become a joke. Yeah. And it's so messed up because if you're the only one with the knowledge, yeah, and then you're the minority, yeah, and they make you to be a fool for having this knowledge, yeah, whether it's true or not, in that surroundings, in that situation, you're a fool. Because you can't convince them to listen otherwise. Yeah. So it doesn't matter what you know. Do you get what I mean?
This is it.
Yeah.
Because when you then hear about this whole reptilian stuff now, yeah, which is almost like the next step from the whole Illuminati, you know, families controlling certain things and Anunnaki and all that, right? When you get the reptilians, is that too far? Or is there something to be said about this?
I enjoy the reptilian talk.
Okay.
Like, I love it. It's funny to me. But obviously, I don't believe that. Like,
Okay.
I mean, it's just stuff. It's just obvious. I just don't believe it.
You guys have your third eye closed fully.
Who said that?
I did.
No, mine's always blinking, man.
One day something's gonna shake this entire world and everybody's concept.
I haven't seen the race of reptilian people anywhere. So I don't know what makes you think.
Do you
they're
believe
in
that giants
palace.
ever walked the earth?
Giants?
Yeah.
What do you call giants? Men. There's men that watch the NBA. Yes, I believe giants walk the earth.
Okay. Because of the men in the NBA?
Yeah.
Because of
What we calling
steroids that are
giants?
being fed to them?
No, but like, yeah, I mean, what we calling giants? Is an 8-foot man a giant? Yes. Do I believe in these millions of years that the Earth's been here? Was there a 9-foot man before? Yes.
How about 16-foot man?
Stretch. It's a bit of a stretch.
Because you haven't
It's a
seen
bit
it.
of a stretch.
Because you haven't seen it, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, wait, let me ask you this here. Where would that 16-foot man come from?
What country?
like planet. You know what I'm saying? Because what?
No. But you do believe... Oh, sorry. Do you believe in the story of David and Goliath?
Yeah.
Why do you believe that? Where did
Because
that man come from?
It was Palestine, innit? Sorry, Philistine. It was
excuse me.
Philistine, innit?
Yeah, it was a Philistine.
Yeah.
So, I'm confused. You just asked me where would that man come from.
Yeah, but he
you
wasn't
now said-
16 foot, Brent.
Sorry, how tall was he?
Probably like Yao Ming and them guys, isn't it? It was just big and hench.
You thought he was 8 foot tall.
All right.
This is the depiction. How you read this story. This is how you read it.
What, with David and Goliath?
Yeah.
How big do you think Goliath is?
I'm asking you now. He said like Yao Ming.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I read the story, I had like David like a little boy, like a little short man, like I don't know, 5'8".
A short man is 5'8".
Yeah.
And
At that time.
how tall is this giant?
I thought Goliath would have been about
Just 7 foot.
about like a 7-foot man.
All right.
Obviously they're gassing it up. You think they never had NBA those days? That's huge as far as because they're saying this is the biggest man in the world. The world was massive then. They didn't even know who was on the other side. So yeah, they called him a giant. He weren't a giant. He was just like a big man, like like a Viking, like one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like Bjorn Ironside. This is what I'm saying. Goliath weren't like huge like that.
All right. Okay.
Or was he?
Okay.
Have I told that wrong the whole time? I've never seen Goliath as some big giant thing. He was just a big man, and David's a little small boy.
Okay. And based on the stories of this particular giant.
To be fair, I haven't read the
literally-
story properly.
I know you haven't. Nobody wanted to come up against this giant. Nobody wanted to come up against this giant because of how fearsome and big this giant was. But yet you're there telling me it's just a discrepancy of a couple of feet.
Oh, okay. Well, you got all the information. I don't know.
Never mind.
Brent, how tall do you think he was?
I think he was a giant.
Yeah, like
And
BFG
to be qualified as a giant, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, nah. Who said this? Nightfall's got it right. I think because all these stories are like fables. Like you got to read between the lines, but put them into context. I think it was just a physical mismatch, like Klitschko Mayweather.
There you go.
Yeah, it was like a Klitschko Mayweather thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are woke. Woke. Remember, there was a whole land of these giants. Do you understand?
Who told you that, though, Brent?
The Bible. Well, again, it's what I believe. This is my particular faith. Do you understand? So I choose to believe. Now, bear in mind, I've seen like bones that they've dug up of giants. Like their skeletons are massive. Do you understand? And you're seeing them and you're thinking, bloody hell.
Brent, you haven't seen it.
I have seen them.
I'm telling you, I've seen them.
I have been to places on YouTube. Whether they are true or not, I have been to places on YouTube. But I do believe,
man.
back in the day, even in a circus days, right, when they used to have traveling circuses, they had flipping big giants, and it wasn't one of those. What do you call it? When you wrestling, you had Big Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
It was more freakish.
But they were still like
Okay, this is what it was then, and this is what it was, and this is why the story's gone on in the Bible for so long, and then obviously it's like Chinese whisper. So by now it's crazy.
Yeah, Chinese
it was like the
whispers.
Big Show, and David was like Little Man.
Little man, yeah?
That's what they saw.
Yeah.
They saw the Big Show versus
Yeah.
Little Man and said, "Wait, what? This is crazy."
Yeah. Did
Oh, but
David go
Little
on to be a king
yeah.
as a little man? He will respect the liquor man. All right, okay. No offense, by the way. Chicken water.
None taken.
Obviously, you sick for man.
Oh man. Yeah, man. So
I do think that people can be too quote unquote woke, especially if it is that you take what woke has become now. It gets very annoying.
And just take the fun out of life.
Yeah.
The real wokies, like it's too extreme. It's radicalized almost.
but do you feel like if we make it more practical? Yesterday we were talking about nutrition and exercise and stuff like that, right? And when Yusuf was here, and basically talking about how you can know something's good for you but not do it. Can we be so woke where it's like we know this information and just not care to the point where it's like you must be a joke then because you're saying all of this and you ain't doing nothing to implement none of these things to better your life. I say all that to say this, yeah, just quickly. People have come out to basically say that certain processed foods, increase your risk of cancer. So we know this for a fact, right? Why are we not prepared to give up certain foods that we know? I'm going to mention some of the foods in a minute.
Yeah, but some like eating healthy is expensive, man. Like sometimes it's just like needs muscle like that. Sometimes like that's why this stuff's all processed and cheap and accessible so we can eat, so the people that can eat. And sometimes you gotta consume, man. Like we know it's not good for us, but the organic joint's too expensive, man. Like what we're gonna do? We're not going back to the farming and that. It's like you move like the man who got allotments and that. You know what I'm trying to say? Like what are we gonna do?
Yeah, true. Okay, you know what? Would you give up cereal?
I don't eat breakfast like that.
Okay.
And if I do, it's usually cooked. So I could give up cereal.
Okay, cool. What about bread?
Give it up for what?
To prevent yourself from getting cancer.
I could give up anything to prevent myself from getting cancer.
Okay.
Oh, well, you say that, but I'm still...
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
No, but it's because there's risk in it, and humans and people, we gamble all the time, innit? It's like there's a chance. Do you know what I'm trying to say? That it's like if you told me, oh, your bread's capped, you get to 10,000 slices, you're gonna get that big C. I will never reach 10,000 slices.
Big C.
Yeah, man.
You get me? I'll just never reach 10,000 slices.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But where it's just up and open, it's like now it's like, boy, the bread could lead to it, and you could eat your whole life and be fine. But there's a chance if you don't, it's just like, I like bread. You know what? Let me see. I find out that way about that people that, and I'm doing this as well because I smoke anyway. Yeah, or I started again. I shouldn't be smoking, but people, and even though I feel like it serves a purpose because I smoke to get high, I got weed. People that smoke cigarettes, like smoke every single day of their life, and it's killing them.
Yeah.
And they still do it.
Yep.
And that is mad.
Do you feel it might be because seeing is believing? Like nobody's smoked and then dropped dead immediately. You know what I'm saying?
I've always said this. I think if they could take my lungs out of my body, and show me what they look like, I'll stop smoking. Because some of them, smokers' lungs are supposed to be disgusting.
So it would only be your lungs. You wouldn't basically take the images that you've seen people actually showing you saying this is a smoker's lung at this particular stage in their life, at this particular stage in life. You don't go looking for that. So you don't
because mine might be different.
Yeah.
My story ain't your story. My lungs might be different. I need to see my thing. That's my problem. You get me? Like that's your lungs. I'm talking about mine. You feel me? It would help me more if I could see mine. You could show me because you could show me. I could Google pictures of someone's lungs now. It's not gonna do nothing. You need to show me mine. Yeah. I'm just telling you. That's how my head works.
What about like ready meals, ice cream, ham?
Yeah, they're no good. Ice cream is a tough one. Ready meals, you shouldn't. They're whack anyway. So all that can go.
How have you actively changed your lifestyle after the aneurysm? Because that was a thing that was shown to you.
What did I do? I quit smoking.
For a little while.
2 years. That's long.
You're back again.
Yeah, because smoking is not a direct correlation. It's not going to light the spliff and have the aneurysm.
Were you told that it could?
No,
So why did you stop?
Yeah, why you stop?
because smoking's bad for your arteries, and I had one of my arteries ruptured, so I figured.
You hear what you said?
It's linked.
Huh?
It's linked.
Yeah, that's over a big long period of time.
But he's saying
I was
that.
smoking 14 years.
He's
I'm saying
saying-
I'm not going to spark the spliff and go,
He's saying-
pow.
he's
That's
saying-
what I said earlier. it's because it don't happen to people. Where it's like, seeing is believing, innit?
Yes,
Like
yeah.
we don't believe we're gonna die.
I'm playing with fire. But then again, at the same time, it's all like, you know what it is? It is what it is, man. You only got one goal, man. I'm here to like.
Yo, I don't like when people finish a sentence
Nah,
with
man.
it is what it is
I'm
after
here-
what we just talked about.
I'm here
It's
to
not.
like, I ain't here to like here no more, man. When I go, I go. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. I'm gonna live it and do what I want while I'm here, and whatever the consequences are, I'll
I'm
live
gonna
with
clip this out to find out. For people to be saying, I just had an aneurysm, but I only have one life to live. Let me smoke again.
it. But I'm here till I ain't here no more, man. While I'm here, I'm gonna enjoy it and do what I want, and
That's why you should look to extend
I'll
your
accept
life.
the consequences of my actions.
Extend your life.
Yeah, I will,
'Cause
but I'll also
you
accept
don't
the
do
consequences of
coke.
my actions. No, don't do no drugs.
Precisely. Why don't you do coke?
It's not my style. It's not my bag.
Not your steez.
No, it's not my steez. Not into these things.
Yeah, I remember that song. You know that song? It's a Nas track called. Is it called Roaches? Featuring Bust. No, not called Roaches.
You
It's
looking
called-
at Marks and asking about
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Nas.
The phone
You
usage.
say it, bro.
It's not called Roaches. It's featuring Busta Rhymes on the it's on the Nigga album,
Let me just Google this.
Untitled album. They called it. And basically, Busta says a line. Basically, he's talking about food, innit?
Oh yeah. Like,
Yeah, but get the name, please. And Busta says, he says that obviously I'm paraphrasing that. I haven't heard it in a long while. He's like, even though the swine is made up of rat, cat, and dog combined, I'm still gonna eat
fried
it.
chicken.
Fried chicken. That's it.
Oh my god.
Even
I
though
hear
the
him, though.
swine is made up of rat, cat, and dog combined, I'm still gonna eat it till I die. That's crazy. and you know what he said afterwards? He said, you know why? Because that's just what niggas do.
Fucking hell.
Man,
That's a bad though.
it's a bar, you know. I was happy I don't eat swine. But yeah, man. I guess that's it for Woke with Joke. We've got more headlines, Brent.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, let's get into our headlines
Thank
then.
It's delicious.
Terrible. Change your life. All right. So the next headline, funny enough, is kind of to do with like, well, can be somewhat to do with food and whatnot, yeah. But the largest ever outbreak of bird flu apparently is spilling over into mammals, including otters and foxes in the UK. So figures released to the BBC show that the disease had led to the death of about 208 million birds. There have also been at least 200 recorded cases in mammals. Public health bosses warned the mutation in mammals could see a jump to humans, but the risk to the public is very low. There will now be a more targeted surveillance and testing of animals and humans exposed to the virus in the UK. The UK HSA, which is the UK Health Security Agency, they're still advising that avian flu is primarily a disease of birds, but experts across the globe are looking at the risks of it spilling over into other species. Worldwide, the virus has been found in a range of mammals, including grizzly bears in America and mink in Spain, as well as in dolphins and seals. In the UK, the Animal and Plant Health Agency has tested 66 mammals, including seals, and found that 9 otters and foxes were positive for highly pathogenic avian influenza. It's believed they had fed on dead or sick wild birds infected with the virus. The animals were found to have a mutation of the virus that could make it easier to infect mammals, but there was no evidence of transmission between mammals. Next headlines, a sad story here, trigger warning here. And 5 members of Canada's federal police force are facing charges in connection with the fatal arrest of an indigenous man nearly 6 years ago. Dale Culver died in police custody on the 18th of July 2017 at the age of 35. The 5 officers were members of the Prince George Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and the charges were filed by prosecutors in British Columbia. 2 of the Mounties were charged with manslaughter, while the other 3 are charged with obstructing justice. The indictment comes almost 3 years after it was recommended by the province's Independent Investigations Office. Culver, who's a member of the Gitskan and the Wet'suwet'en nations, which is like, it's the more modern day way of saying Indians, basically, like indigenous to Canada and stuff.
Wet'su?
Sorry, that's I guess the tribe within it, if that makes sense. But they call them nations, and there's 2 other names basically. But yeah, he was allegedly anyway, this is what it's saying, fled officers on a bicycle in the city of Prince George. And police are saying that they approached him while responding to a report of a man suspiciously inspecting parked cars. A struggle ensued when police caught up with him, and pepper spray was used against him. The father of 3 was put in the back of the police vehicle where he appeared to have trouble breathing. Paramedics were called and Culver collapsed after being removed from the patrol car. He later died in hospital. The IIO report alleged that officers used excessive force and that racial bias could have had an influence on their actions. And the last headline here, yeah. Tell me what you think of this, yeah. Remember that song Delilah, Tom Jones?
What's it called?
That's the one.
Delilah.
Yes, that one's been banned, man.
Why?
I'm gonna get into it. So basically, yeah, the Tom Jones ballad has been under scrutiny for years, right? Due to its violent connotations.
What?
So yeah, it was removed from Welsh international games in 2015. The Welsh Rugby Union has struck Delilah off of its choir playlist at the Principality Stadium. The Tom Jones song will no longer be sung at Wales National Ground, which holds more than 70,000 spectators. A Principality Stadium spokesperson said Delilah will not feature on the playlist for choirs for rugby internationals at Principality Stadium. Guest choirs have also more recently been requested not to feature the song during the pre-match performances and even throughout the games. They reiterated that the song was removed from its halftime entertainment and music playlist during the international matches in 2015. This is where basically it starts from. So the lyrics of the 1968 ballad are at the heart of the controversy. Delilah, basically this is the premise of the song, is stabbed as her jealous husband discovers her frolicking with another man. The husband pleads for forgiveness of her dead corpse at the end of the song. So that's basically the gist of the song, innit? So the spokesperson for the Principality Stadium, they said the WRU condemns, which is the Welsh Rugby Union, condemns domestic violence of any kind. We have previously sought advice from subject matter experts on the issue of censoring the song, and we are respectfully aware that it is problematic and upsetting to some supporters because of its subject matter.
This is too woke. This is too woke for me. This is why I don't like trigger warning. I'll be honest with you, because this song's been there forever and it's fine. And I don't know who. I don't even. Who gives a shit?
Because people are complaining about it though.
That's why you're worrying about it. And you have to pander to these little people that are complaining. The minorities just making enough noise. No one. It's not enough people. No one cares. Not enough people cared. The user that was complaining, just don't listen to the blood clot song. You get what I'm trying to say?
But in a venue,
if they're real niggas, yeah, they're gonna sing Delilah there. All 70,000 of them sing it a cappella. I don't need no choir. This is my rhythm. We've been singing this for years. Are you crazy? In unison, sing that. That's what I'll do.
Well, one of the guys, yeah, his name is David Iwan, right? In 2014, right? He basically was singing in the stadium and whatnot. He said, a song about murder, it does tend to trivialize the idea of murdering a woman. It's a pity these words now have been elevated to the status of a secondary national anthem. So, however, in a letter to The Guardian, he also said banning songs is something I would never, it's not something I would ever advocate, even if it was possible. So he's saying, you know what I'm saying? He's kind of on the fence, I guess. But Tom Jones responded, though, and he basically said that people were taking the song too literally and rejected claims that it was trivializing violence towards women. And that's it for the headlines, man.
What are we into next then?
Reaction.
Let's get into the reaction. Let's get into reaction. So, yesterday, Man United winning the Carabao Cup. That was a bit short.
That was short.
Wembley, off to Wembley. You know, as you do, Eric Ten Hag looking his first bit of silverware at the gate, flying fast. Hopefully we get it done. It's going to be a big spectacle against Newcastle. It's Newcastle's first time at Wembley or in a cup final since 1999. Guess who their opponents were?
United.
All right, then. This is history. You get me? This is serious stuff. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a tough ask because Newcastle don't concede.
Oh yes,
They do not concede. So it's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a long day. I'm gonna see if I can get tickets to that because that'd be fun if I can do that. But yeah, man, we beat Newcastle last night 2-0. I think 2 goals from Martial and Fred. I want to say that will conclude 5-0 aggregate win.
Do you think Man United will feel their strongest team then?
In that final? Oh yeah, strong as possible.
Had they been doing that in semi-finals as well?
Yeah, I didn't see yesterday's lineup, so and he didn't have to, but he went pretty strong. Do you see the lineup people against Reading the other day?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, no, he's not playing. He's not playing he ain't got time for this because he's not far enough into his career to be mixing and matching and boom. These men need as much time as possible. They're not going to get on the training pitch. Well, doing it on the training pitch is one thing, but they need to do it in games, innit?
Yeah.
He needs to get them up to speed, so he's going to play as strong as he can whenever. I see him do that against them Cypriots and all that in Europa League before it shut down. He was going strong in Europa and that, so I see what he's on. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. Big up him. What else we got? United got Sabitzer. Did you get to talk about that yesterday?
Yeah, we spoke about it.
Okay, then.
On loan, innit?
Okay, then. I
But
missed it.
they don't have an option to buy.
I don't like that. I don't like that. But he's good. Do you think he would have been better for him than Jorginho?
I don't know about him too much, you know.
Oh, Sabitzer?
Yeah.
He's all right, man. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend like I know bear about him because since he's gone Bayern, it's been quiet. But from when he was at Leipzig, he was making waves. You get me? He was making waves. He was decent, and he hit 52 goals at Leipzig. So to get 52 goals from midfield.
In what space of time?
How many games was it? 100 and something?
Is it within a season?
midfield.
I think
It weren't within a season. No, it weren't within a
Yeah.
season. No.
Okay.
Just his career there, but whatever. But I'm just
Still.
saying, still,
No,
yeah,
yeah.
50 goals from midfield, still good going. You know what I'm saying?
He was there for 11 years.
No, he
No, it
weren't.
wasn't.
Did he come in to replace Ericsson?
Yeah, basically, just get a body there, and yeah, Ericsson out for 3 months. As soon as Ericsson went down, I'm saying, boy, it's the title out the window, man.
Title, yeah?
Title what? Title what?
I'm just saying.
Best fourth place team, yeah.
Boy.
Second he went down, I said, fuck. That title gone, man.
Oh, it was 8 seasons.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Somebody said it was 8 seasons.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have been 8 seasons in the first team. How old is he?
It's your player, I don't know.
He would have been there from young, innit? That would be like youth team and coming up or something, surely. Because how old is he?
Let me double check.
He played 8 seasons at Leipzig before Bayern Munich bought him. That don't make no sense. Not in the first team. That's ridiculous. That's not true. Unless he was there from a kid. You know what I'm trying to say? That's not sensible at all. In other news, basketball news for your NBA fans.
He's 28.
He's 28. Yeah, see, there you go. Damien Lillard hit 42 points. The Trailblazers beat the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm glad he done that because Ja Morant is getting too gassed, getting too big for his boots. I don't even know if he played yesterday. I didn't see none of the games, but he done that. What else is going on in the NBA? Brooklyn Nets got beat last night. They got beat last night by the Boston Celtics. That sounded like an absolute drumming, 139-96. Obviously, the Nets still are without KD. Not sure if Ben Simmons played last night. I didn't catch none of the basketball. I didn't catch no sports, actually, last night. So I'm not really, I can't really help. Big man Usain here, and our NBA correspondent hasn't called in. So I guess that is the end of our sports headlines. Let's get into Out Ere quickly. Okay, let's just get this one out of the way anyway, because oh shit, this is not working. I'm gonna have to do some more trigger warnings, I think, because someone died. But basically, yeah, We found a story, people. A female killer we've got here, yeah? They're calling her Algerian beauty blogger. This is what she is. Shaharaban? She's 23. This girl, this girl's sick. This girl went, found a lookalike, online, tracked her down, tracked down her lookalike, murdered her lookalike, and then faked her own death.
Maniac.
Have you seen anything like this before? Apparently, sorry, that's why I said trigger warning, because it was pretty gruesome, because apparently she's like stabbed her up and stuff and like tried to disfigure her face and that kind of things, like to try and thing it, and like left her in the back of the car outside her yard or something like that. Left her in the back of the car outside her yard and tried to pretend like it was her. Stabbed her 50 times.
Crazy.
This is wild. Every day I forward on it, I see, that human beings, are mental. But, she might have been inspired, E-man. What are you saying? There's previous of this kind of case?
Yeah, something like that. Around a similar type of time, if I'm not mistaken. But something in Russia where a lady tried to fake her death by poisoning her lookalike as well. Yeah, man.
Don't these people understand how DNA works? Don't they? Wait, one second. It's fine. It's fine and well to say, oh yeah, that's me over there, But what happens when they come and grab the body, and they check? What's it called? Is it a post-mortem thing? What's it called? No,
autopsy.
Autopsy. There you go. What happens when they do the autopsy, and then your teeth, your fingerprints, your DNA, like that's running through your car? What happens when they do all that? How come these people don't think these things through? How come people get these harebrained ideas and think, oh, I know what I'm gonna do, and then they just go through with it, and at no point do they look into the mirror or even have a conversation with themselves and talk this plan through and say to themselves, all right, cool. What am I missing here?
Yeah.
Like, where could this go wrong? You know what I'm trying to say? Because I don't understand in any world how that works. I see a guy that looks like me, so I want to fake my own death. So I see a guy that looks like me. I go track him down, I find him, I stab him to death, put him in my car, and leave it outside my yard, and then disappear.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I've got a murder charge. Huh?
Insane.
It is insanity. Insanity is, brother, it's getting rife. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, these are mad. These things are mad. Get befriended. People are crazy. And I just don't understand. Why didn't she just run away? Like, who's after her? I wanted to check like into her background on that, but I'm not getting no information. I want to know who's after her. What has she done? Why does she feel the need that? Why does she feel that she had to be dead?
She was one of Tate's angels.
She was trying to escape.
Right.
Allegedly.
That's mad. That is absolute foolishness.
And just imagine, man, before all of this, she would have had boyfriends, right? She'd even had friends and whatnot. She might have gone to school. And you know how sometimes you hear people saying, this person's crazy, this person's crazy, this person. And you're like, are they just aggressive? Did they just do something that you didn't like? Just imagine, this girl woke up one morning and decided, this is what I'm going to do. Not only that, but I'm going to actually follow through with it.
You're saying her brother should have known that she was capable of this?
I'm not saying that. You never know who is around you, is what I'm saying. Human beings are so mad.
They're mad, but they're foolish as well. It's actually, because it's stupidity. Again, like I said, just as simple with DNA, this was never going to work. Like, it was a non-starter. It was a non-starter.
Crazy.
What a fool. 23, man. Young and dumb. Full of cum. Anyway, let's get into our outro. Well, that is the end of our show, people. We made it. We finally made it. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was great. Shouts out to everybody that took part in the chat. We see yous lot. Shouts out to our wonderful guests for coming in. We haven't said that in a while.
Yeah, for real.
Hope everybody's been all right, though, man. It's lit, man. We anything fun planned for the rest of the day?
Nah, man.
All right, cool. We're going to go chill out. We'll see you here in the morning, man.
Later.
Peace.
Peace.